everyone. Welcome to another episode of Breaking Ground. I'm Carl.
I'm Mika.
And I'm Darian.
And welcome to the last episode of Season 1.
Finale. Yay!
Congrats to us. For you guys, actually, I just want to say na I'm very proud of our team and of Nickel Asia kasi this is something that has never been done before in the mining industry. And for us, it's a good challenge, diba? And a good way to tell different stories, not necessarily mining.
True. Nag-transcend tayo from traditional corporate communication.
Transcend.
Kasi diba, very new yung magkaroon ng podcast, tapos mining pa yung company.
Actually, nung nag-i-invite nga ako ng guest, sinasabi nila, why does a mining company have a podcast? Dami nagtatanong na why.
But for you guys, sa tingin nyo, bakit nga ba tayo may podcast?
Well, for me, it's to get our story across to more audiences and to better maximize our reach sa social media platforms natin.
Ako siguro mas naging clear na yung goal ni Nickel Asia na magbigay na information, not just about mining. Diba? Yung advocacy natin.
Actually, it's nice that you guys said that kasi for me din, while we really don't talk about mining in particular for every episode, it shows what are the things that Nickel Asia cares about. So parang we talk about financial literacy, leadership, di ba? Importance of journalism, of course, sustainability, women empowerment, etc., etc. Kayo, anong favorite highlights or episodes nyo?
Siguro sa akin, natuwa ako sa episode na nakikipag-usap kayo with Sir Dennis at saka yung officer from RCBC.
Si Sir Eugene Acevedo, yeah.
Kasi marirealize mo nakakaiba talaga yung mga upbringing ng mga millionaires and saka mga billionaires. A lot of us think na kakaiba yung mga problema nila, which to some extent I think is true, pero those are average people problems para lang din eh. Iba lang yung playing field na kung nasaan sila. At saka it shows what kind of acumen you need to have in order to succeed in business. Marami kang best practices in business na pwede makuha din eh. Apart from the everyday stories of what billionaires go through.
I've always wanted to be CEO. I'm not embarrassed to say that. Mostly because I used to lead student organizations back in high school and college. But now I see it as an obligation to take care of the 6,400 people under me and their families. If I think about it too much, it is very stressful, but I'd rather think of it as something that inspires me and gives meaning to my life.
Well, unlike Eugene, I don't think I thought of becoming CEO naman when I was starting out my career, because I started in investment banking. And I was mainly a financial analyst. So I think the jump to management was difficult for me. Because in banking, you just deal with normally a small team, and you're more or less, on an equal level. So it was not natural for me. The reason I became CEO is because it started more than maybe 17 years ago when my dad asked me to join the company. And he always told us that he did not intend for his children to succeed him. So it wasn't in my mind to enter this role, to assume this role. But similar to Eugene, after being in this role since COVID, since January 2020, I see it as both a blessing and a stress inducer, because like for example, I used to have much more hair.
It's an interesting point of view.
Actually, yun nga, with the responsibility that they have. Parang natuwa ko dun sa part na sinabi ni Sir Eugene na you have to diversify your,
Your
sources of happiness. Kasi 'di ba, tayo mga Pilipino, parang typical sa atin na work, ganyan, o kung medyo religious ka, church, ganyan, or school, sa mga nagma-masters, ganyan. Parang ano, yung sa kanya, na sinabi niya yun na diversify your sources of happiness.
I've always said that I diversify my sources of happiness.
Wow. Okay.
Parang ganon. Work makes me very happy. Being with people at work is one of my biggest sources of joy. But I also enjoy teaching, writing. That's why I'm taking my doctorate now. So who knows? I'll be a professor again. So it's and my cats at home. My sources of happiness are diversified.
Oh, parang sila din pala ganun. Hindi lang sila puro work, di ba?
True. And I think it's a mark of a good leader kapag yung mga people under them merong work-life balance,
Yeah,
'di ba?
oo.
Yung parang hindi sila stressed na papasok na naman ako, OT, blah, blah, etc., etc. Nag-stick din sa akin yung diversify your happiness. Kasi I think, may nabasa ko na parang, dapat in anything you enter yourself into, dapat meron kang ability to let go.
Oh.
Kasi doon, pag hindi ka marunong mag-let go, doon nagbe-breed yung, yun nga, kunwari, greed, di ba? Or yung mga people in power na hindi makaalis sa position, di ba? Or yung mga leaders katulad nila na hindi naniniwala sa succession, di ba? Nakikita natin sa ibang corporations. So ang ganda lang nung quote na yun.
Yeah.
Another episode na tumatak sa akin, yung kay Doc Melvin actually. Kasi apart from the fact na happy ako na ako yung nag-recruit sa kanya into Dinapige, it's a good insight into why a person na hindi related to mining yung trabaho would want to join the industry.
Especially ang dami namang, di
And
ba,
unique yung reason ni Doc Melvin kasi
I remember when I was establishing my clinic, my first clinic, I said to myself, I want a clinic with with parang a view of a forest, ganyan, or lush, parang greenery, ganyan. So, tatry ko siya i-achieve dun sa house na clinic kasi yung labas ng house namin is garden. So, na-achieve ko naman siya. Pero sabi ko, what if talagang forest yung labas, no? Tapos, nung lumipat ako sa Viluna, meron kasi parang doon veranda sa labas ng clinic. So, pinuno ko yun ng puno dati, before pandemic pa. So yun pa rin ang gusto ko talaga ma-achieve, yung pag nakaupo yung pasyente, pagtingin niya dun sa glass, puro siya puno.
Oh.
Yun. So wala akong green thumb, but I like seeing yung mga something to do with nature. Yan.
gusto niya maging one with nature. That's one of the reasons bakit pinili niya magtrabaho sa DMC.
Tapos mining. Which is di ba? Kinokorek yung stigma na kapag mining ka.
And actually, if we think about it, lahat naman tayo, hindi natin primary consideration na magtrabaho sa isang mining company. So I think we all relate to him. Ano pa yung mga favorite quotes nyo sa lahat ng episodes natin? Ako, favorite ko yung episode with Miss Gang. Doon sa part na sinabi niya na it's important that we label things.
I think now, everyone's more open when it comes to mental health literacy, right?
Yes. May language na eh. I think that's a gift of the pandemic.
Now na parang yun.
May vocabulary.
Oo.
Yun talaga
When you
yung
label something,
legacy ng pandemic yan sa atin eh.
Parang whatever we're feeling. Kasi, di ba, parang once you put a definition on something, mas madali siyang mag-grasp, mas madali mo siyang, parang it's easier to deal with something that you know what it is. And I think that's just, and I think very important yun when it comes to mental health. Kasi minsan, akala natin, galit tayo. And pala, it's just an effect or parang...
Not the primary emotion.
Oo, parang baka kaya ka galit kasi ito talaga yung, at the heart of it, ito yung tunay mong nararamdaman. So, ang ganda nun. Especially kung communicator ka, tayo, di ba? So, parang kaya rin, very important yung very anal ka with the words you use, na parang hindi pwedeng basta mo sabihin na masaya ka. Parang there are so many ways to define what you're feeling. And I think that also reflects yung storytelling na ginagawa natin.
Saka nag-reflect din dun yung advocacy nyo na lagyan ng language. Di ba? Yung bawat emotions.
Yes, that's why some people, instead of being able to address what they feel, nagkakaroon na lang ng outburst kasi hindi na ma-verbalize kung ano yung nararamdaman nila.
Kaya rin, dun mo ma-appreciate yung, like, hindi naman sa but ma-appreciate mo if you're in a workplace where medyo may premium pagdating sa mental health.
Yeah, oo, nabanggit niyo din yung dapat, o yung wini-wish niya sa lahat ng mga first-time job seeker na yung unang boss nila dapat, okay.
Let's say naniniwala ako sa swerte. Let's say, by the way, naniniwala ako sa swerte. Pero let's say naniniwala ako sa swerte. Ito talaga yung hihiling ko para sa lahat. Sana yung una mong boss okay. In your life, the first boss you ever worked for, I really hope your boss is good because diyan mo makukuha yung appreciation for following instructions, doing the grit work. Sana yung boss nag-e-explain why you do what you do and why you do it so over time and because so many people are really ruined by the first boss in their lives. I hold the same opinion for math teachers, by the way. I really hope, my wish for every human is that the first math class you ever have, I hope you have a good math teacher who's fun and lovely to look at, ganyan. Kasi it's a state of brain yan. Everybody has a skill for math. Everybody has a skill for grit at work. What really makes you quit is who provides your fuel or who gives you a brick wall to hit every day.
Di ba?
True.
Kasi yun yung magiging baseline mo kung ano yung susunod mong company.
And mahirap. Ako to be fair, hindi pa ako nagkakaroon ng boss na parang may traumatic experience ako. But I can only imagine for some people na pag naka-encounter ka ng ganon, parang relationship, I guess, medyo natatakot ka ng mag 100%, diba? Or parang maging transparent. Ikaw, Dar, what can you say about the episode with Miss Meggy? Bilang, it's about women empowerment, tapos lalaki ka, diba?
Sa akin siguro, it showed me how entering the industry was relatively a bit of a privilege for me kasi I didn't realize that women found it harder to break into the industry when you look at the percentages. And ayun, at least na dispel yung mga common myths like
that mining is a man's world. That's the very first myth that I personally realized when I went to the mines. There are women in the mines. In the Philippines, I think yung pinakalumang statistics pa in small-scale mining, there are 500,000 miners and then 18,000 of them are women. You would be surprised maybe to see that, that's probably like very small, small estimate of that. Second, is that women's work in the mining, in small scale gold mining is not that valuable because actually, apart from the actual extraction, which there's another myth about that actual extraction, they actually do everything else. So actually, the only thing that we found that most men would do in small scale gold mining was extraction. But from cleaning, after post extraction, cleaning, panning, and then before that is of course the formalization things, working with the government. That was women, and I guess one of the most common myths as well is, and this is the reason why a lot of women can't go inside the mines is in many communities in the Philippines, and later on we found all over the world as well. Women are not allowed inside the mines because they are either because of different reasons. So first, either they're unlucky.
Oh yeah, it's a cultural thing.
Yes, they're unlucky, or because because when she enters, the gold will become jealous and then she will hide. Some say that women are dirty because they menstruate, so it's they can't. That's why they're unlucky to go inside the mine. And of course, the most obvious one is that women aren't strong enough to enter the mines.
bias daw ang mga babae pagdating sa mining, kaya hindi pinapapasok doon sa mga
Tunnels.
tunnels minsan. Pero sila naman pala yung gumagawa nag-handle ng economic aspect, which is a lot of times more important than just the physical aspect of extracting yung ore, di ba? And women, apart from working sa mining industry, have to do a lot more than what they do. They also have to be mothers. They also have to be teachers to their kids. They also have to cook food doon sa bahay pagdating nila. And men and women don't have the same expectations kasi.
Yan ang favorite episode mo, ah.
Hindi naman po ganun, ma.
Ako gusto ko rin yung yung about finance kila Sir Andre. Sa kay Miss April.
I guess the mindset has to be like, you still try to save anyways. Diba? Kasi there will always be opportunities. And if you don't have that liquidity, you cannot do.
Pag dumating yung opportunity na yan, and then at the right time, then you have, you're liquid enough to grab the opportunity.
Grabe, doon ko na-realize na parang, oops, kailangan ko mag-save para sa liquidity, di ba? Para kapag may opportunity na nag-open, doon ka maglalagay ng...
Kaya next time na yung cut apartment ni Timmy, no?
Pero ang ganda nung perspective na sinabi ni Miss April na kunyari, maliit lang ang kinikita mo. So parang hindi mo ma-imagine yung sarili mo na bibili ka ng ganitong klaseng investment or asset. So ang gagawin mo, enjoyin mo na lang yung pera mo. Travel ka, whatever. Kaso ang problema pag ganun, pag merong investment or opportunity that is within your reach, yun nga lang hindi ka nakapag-prepare, hindi mo masiseize yung opportunity. So, I guess, nasa rin siya, no? Yung mentality mo, or parang yung financial wallet, or psychological wallet mo as a person, na parang, wag mo isipin na hindi mo kayang i-afford yun. Parang dapat, give room for yourself na parang, okay, ito lang yung meron ako ngayon, pero kaya kong ma-reach if I save enough. Ganon. Maganda siyang mindset.
Saka hindi din pala okay yung mindset na kukompute mo per day. Kunyari, bibili ka ng sapatos, compute mo per day. Okay, 26 pesos.
Gine-girl math.
Hindi
maganda mag-girl math. Oo.
Kasi interest and stuff, nandun pa rin.
Tsaka one of the highlights from that discussion is, although it's difficult to reach your first billion, it's easier after that.
Yung
Ganda
exponential angle, no?
I guess it comes with having the right mindset after making your first million. Mas madali na for you to make the rest of it because milestone talaga when you make your first million, I think.
Gusto ko rin yung episode with Doc Makalintal. So, ang dami ko natutunan doon. Kasi ako, mahilig ako sa tubig na malamig. Like, okay lang sa akin, walang soft drinks, walang juice, walang anything, pero kailangan tubig na may yelo. So, nung sinabi niya na okay lang yung...
Mag-samgyup.
Okay lang na mag-samgyup ka, mag-hotpot ka, tapos malamig, hindi magsesebo yung loob ng... Kasi sa totoo lang sorry kung ang tanga, pero parang akala ko talaga totoo yun, na magsisebo yung loob. Hindi naman pala.
Kailangan ay uminom ka ng warm water lang, hindi yung cold water. Ang tubig po ay tubig. Pareho lang sila. Yun. Oo.
Paano kapag nag-samgyup, Doc? Sabi nila, di ba dapat daw,
Warm water?
Warm water.
Kasi daw magkakasebo daw.
Yeah,
Hindi rin yung totoo. Ang tubig ay tubig. Di ba? Ang tubig ay tubig. Pare-pareho lang yan.
So regardless.
Regardless of what you're gonna drink, water is water. H2O is still H2O whether it's cold or not. Pareho lang yun.
And gusto ko na he put a premium on the fact na you don't need a smartwatch, you don't need all this running gear, parang movement is movement. Yun yung pinaka-importante.
Alam nyo, tanggalin nyo yung smartwatches nyo. Tapos tumakbo kayo. Kahit hindi mo i-measure yan, in the long run, go for one week na pantay-pantay ang takbo mo, you are gonna lose weight. Provided that you're eating just enough for you to lose weight. Nagiging komplikado na nga eh.
Kaya nga, Doc.
How about yung kung titingnan natin yung mga unang panahon, na wala yung mga smartwatches, tumatakbo lang naman din sila. Hindi ako namulat sa pagkakaroon ng smartwatch before. Hindi ko tinitingnan yun, but I'm losing weight. I'm toning my body well at that era. Pero ngayon na may smartwatches, yes, sige, makita mo, ganun. Pero ganun pa rin naman yung pakiramdam ng pagtakbo kahit wala kang smartwatch. Eh. Kailangan mo, sapatos.
Sapatos
Pagtatakbo,
talaga.
oo. Sapatos muna.
Quotable quote yung wag natin pakomplikaduhin yung mga bagay-bagay. Yung...
True.
Tsaka hindi naman, ayun nga, hindi kailangang komplikado. What matters is masimulan mo.
Consistency.
At yung consistency, important nga yun.
Correct.
Which, next year, tingnan niyo po mga viewers, payat na ako, promise. Kapag,
Sa season 2
Ano ng season 2?
Pakisigurado. Ito ang ang record natin. Another episode that's na-enjoy ko talaga is of course yung kay Dax and kay Sir Ian.
Oh.
That's very close to my heart kasi syempre ako dati rin akong reporter, di ba? So, actually just to talk to them, pero it was such good feeling na parang yung to be able to discuss things like that, na-miss ko rin talaga.
Kasi usually sa newsroom, di nyo naman pinag-uusapan yung mga ginagawa nyo, di ba?
After the newsroom, pwede, pag inuman na. Pero 'di ba, parang I think it's a good perspective lalo na kung hindi ka taga-media. Pero makita mo lang na okay, so ano pala no, ganito pala yung parang kailangan or parang yung philosophy or whatever before you put out a news, paano ka gagawa ng news website, yung importance ng integrity, transparency, etc. etc.
Number one, you should know the objective process of journalism. Ngayon kasi nakakapi ka na, kailangan ipaliwanag mo ng paulit-ulit to, no? Even journalists na kasama natin, di naintindihan ibig sabihin ng objectivity. Akala nila pag objective ka, dapat balance. They mistake that for fairness. They don't even understand yung idea ng false balance. Okay? Objectivity pertains to the process itself. That tax I, me, myself, you, anybody else would like to verify whether something is right or wrong. Kunwari, sinabi mo sa akin, magnanakaw tong politiko na to, may kaso. Una akong tatanungin, ba't mo sinasabi sa akin yan? Ano yung motibo mo? Anong credibility mo to talk about that? At sino yung mga independent sources, not just one or two or three, na pwede ko makausap to verify what you're telling me. It's a constant process of verification. Kakausapin ko lahat yun. And then I will come up with my own conclusions based on facts. Ako kasi ang tingin ko sa facts building blocks ng truth yan eh. They're not exactly the same all the time. Ngayon, pag ginawa natin yung proseso na yan, kakausapin kita, yung inaakusahan mo, kakausapin ko. Hindi yung ano lang perfunctorily na, sir, okay na ba?
We tried to get his comment, but no comment as of press time.
Paano kung Jebs pala? Hindi kayo masagot, di ba?
Sorry, bukas ka na.
Bukas na lang. Pag sinunod yan ng kahit sinong journalist, hindi naman ibig sabihin pareho ng conclusions eh. Kasi depende sa ruta yan eh. But we follow the process. That's objectivity. And doing that requires integrity. Kasi pag pinrostitute mo yung profession mo, magiging polluted yung magiging output ng buong proseso na yun. So, dapat meron kang independence, meron kang integrity, the objective process, which is not exactly a core value in journalism. Tapos yun, dapat naintindihan mo yung idea ng false balance eh.
Very call to action yung tas medyo naging emotional din ako doon sa part na sinabi ni I don't know si Sir Dax and Sir Ian, pero parang both na papunta na yung direction ng broadcast journalism, papunta na nakikita nila yung nangyari sa newspaper dati.
A lot of our colleagues were very unwilling and unable to adapt to the change. Kasi yung writing on the wall, ang laki-laki. Hindi mo siya mamimiss eh. Ang problema nandun lagi yung fear. Of course, the idea of change always induces fear in anyone. Ang problema, wala kang choice eh. You have to do it eh. Ako honestly, nakawa ko rin sa mga colleagues natin before sa Inquirer. With what happened to the Philippine Daily Inquirer. Hindi kasi kinaya nung adjustment when it comes to change. And this is also the sad story of many big newsrooms eh. Kasi ang problema, the captains of the ship are basically dinosaurs. Whether you like it or not. And when they heard of those buzzwords na we have to do digital content, etc., they might have been open to it, but they were not capable of it. And they were unwilling to bring in fresh, mag-infuse ng fresh blood sa newsroom to do it.
Conceptually, they were open to it.
Yeah.
But doing it is another thing entirely.
And how to do it. Diba? So, yun ang challenge. And we really need to adjust and basically embrace and change. Yun ang importante. Kung sa tingin mo, huwag kang mag-isip na pang-print ka lang. Na magaling ako magsulat Pang print lang ako. It won't die, honestly. I think that the trajectory for the newspaper industry is that it won't die, but it would become a niche market, just like vinyl. Yun ang theory ko, no? I may be wrong, pero nagpapaka-intellectual lang
I
ako.
kind of agree.
Pero yun ang inisip ko. Hindi siya mawawala.
And now, by the way, yung ating colleagues in broadcast television are entering that phase where print was a decade ago, the start of the slow decline.
Yeah.
So they would do well to heed the lessons of print from the last decade.
True.
Which is nakakatakot. Di ba?
And I think all the more na parang we need storytelling like this. Hindi ko masasabi na parang we're a gift to journalism or to communications. But I'm really inspired by the fact na we were allowed to do this and we're able to explore something like this. Kasi nga hindi siya normal sa mining industry. And I think parang, I hope, yung translation nito sa viewers natin is, NAC is not just a mining company, a renewable energy company, but it's really about the people and yung importance of being able to reach more people, hindi lang yung sa bubble natin.
Naalala ko bigla pala meron tayong episode on solid waste management. Yung kasama si Engineer Benjo. Mga ba ulit yung mga napag-usapan natin doon, Mick?
Actually, scary din yun eh. Kasi, diba, sobrang daming, yung basura, yung problema sa basura. Tapos, sobrang eye-opener kung paano niya ginawa yung app.
When we started the trash cash, actually, we implemented the trash cash sa Samal, or the Circulo Plus sa Samal Island. After pandemic, so around 2021, imagine wala pang masyadong mga tao kasi hindi naman lumalabas yung mga tao that time eh. So yung mga resorts hindi rin nalalamnan ng tao. Pero yung landfill, sobrang ang bilis mag-proliferate ng mga waste. Imagine kung meron ngayon sa state natin na balik normal na lahat, 'di ba? So in 6 months yung pagbalik namin doon, halos mapuno na yung landfill nila ng mga waste area. Kaya especially dito sa Metro Manila, malaki yung problem kasi yung mga waste na nag-generate dito, most likely mismanaged. So, eventually, nag-e-end siya sa landfill and unfortunately to oceans.
Tapos, natuwa ko doon sa collaboration nila yung mismo discussion nila ni Ma'am Lira. Kasi from NGO, tas corporate, di ba? Paano sila magkakaroon ng common ground?
Well, I think, ang takeaway ko from that episode was, yun nga, from an NGO, tas someone from corporate, but pareho na in order for us to change, diba, or parang effect change, nagsastart siya sa community. Very important, whether it's a community as in sa barangay or community within the company, very important yung merong common cause or advocacy na kung gusto nating may baguhin, kailangan natin siyang gawin collectively, which I think is nice.
Tapos, I remember na in-interview din natin si Nurse Romer from DMC na posible pala ma-travel every province in the Philippines despite yung work schedule natin sa mining industry. To recap lang sa viewers natin, in a lot of our companies sa NAC, merong fly-in, fly-out na setup where may fixed number of weeks ka na work, tapos 1 week na break, tapos I would think na incompatible yun with traveling, the Philippines, and even the rest of the world. Pero kung meron ka naman proper na time management at saka budget management, kaya naman pala, magagawa ng paraan.
But actually, if you think about it, mas compatible siya. Ako kung titignan ko, kasi una, pag nasa site ka, wala kang ginagastos. So, mas nakakaipon ka.
Oo nga, no?
Diba? Tapos, since parang meron kang fixed number of days to work, tas biglang mahabang bakasyon din, mas makakapagbakasyon ka. Kasi parang ang hahaba ng stretches na pwede kang wala.
Oo nga.
Diba? Ako I can't imagine na ganun. Hindi para sa akin yung ganung lifestyle na ang layo. Kasi syempre hindi ko pwedeng dalhin yung pusa ko doon.
Totoo.
Picture of Apa here.
Kada araw namimiss ko si Ama.
So, para sa mga nakikinig, narinig nyo yun, free food, free accommodation, free laundry, mag-apply na kayo sa Nickel Asia.
Pwede.
Pang HR talaga si Dar.
Actually.
Ano ang gawa po petition na hindi ako ilipat sa HR?
Actually, dun sa 9 episodes na meron tayo, meron ba kayong narinig na advice or statement na, yun, nung narinig nyo, it's something na you applied in your own life?
Ako, yung diversify your sources of happiness. Kasi after nun, talagang humanap ako ng hobby. Ayun, tumatakbo na ako. Pumasok na ako sa running era. Hello sa mga kapwa ko runners.
Pero totoo, importante yung marami kang sources of happiness. Para pag nawala yung isa, hindi ka naman entirely,
Kumbaga pag may nangyaring masama sa work, itakbo na lang natin yan.
True.
Sa akin, si Doc Macalintal, yung advice niya na just get started. Ako kasi, a lot of times I can get started. Problem is yung consistency So, ngayon, hindi ko na inuurong yung oras ng intermittent fast ko kasi paminsan ko, nag-yo-yo yung weight ko So, important talaga na when trying to lose weight, you apply consistency. Kasi, problema, pagkasama ko yung isang katrabaho natin, kain kami ng kain.
Okay, name drop.
Pero ayun, if you want to lose weight, just be consistent, get started, get moving. Yun yung pinaka-tumatak sa akin.
Meron ako from Miss Gang. Actually, hindi siya deep. Pero parang naalala ko lang na sabi niya, when you're with someone who's medyo distraught, malungkot, etc., sometimes you don't have to say anything, pero just make sure na is the room okay? Do you need water? Kasi ako, hindi ako magaling mag-comfort. Hindi ako emotional, ganyan. So parang it's hard for me pag I'm with someone na malungkot, parang tendency ko is to problem solve, which I know a lot of people find annoying. Kasi minsan gusto mo lang mag-rant, tapos biglang may darating, ba't hindi ganito gawin mo? Diba? Which is, nakaka-irita, totoo naman. So, parang lagi kong naiisip, every time I'm with someone na, yun nga, nagrarant lang, tumatak sa akin na, okay, I don't have to solve anything. Maybe I just have to be there. Very useful yun sa akin.
You have to go back to what we share. What do we share? A body. And the body usually needs water. And the body needs to sit down, or the body needs to loosen the neck. So, kung hindi ka sure how to talk to a person because of it's obviously an emotional turmoil time, you don't need to ask him what's wrong, who hurt you, is it a past trauma surfacing in the last 3 minutes, did something trigger you that made you remember that 11 years old you were a sad, neglected child? You can't ask that. You can't ask that. What you can ask is, one, baka there's no room for questions. What you can say is, here is water, drink when you feel like it. Let's sit down, because it's just really easier to think when you sit down. So think of the person's body, drink, is the light too bright? Let's turn it off. Or you'll say, I'll turn off the light, baka it's too bright. So really fix the environment first around. And you're lucky if they open up and then you get to figure it out. But at best, you made the person not dehydrated. Because sometimes that's all you have. That's all you have access to. You can't really check their pulse rate while you're talking to them. You can't really know if they're on pre-diabetic medicine. You don't know that. There's no time. But there is time to make someone more stable physically by sitting down, or especially if they're on ledge, you take them, come down. So the first thing is really body safety. So ilaw, sit down. You're really cold. Is it okay if I touch you? Or usually just water. Or you just say, I'm here. When you're ready, you tell me, or something. So what is the general blanket advice then? Your job is to take the person to the present minute, in the present room, and remind that you are in the lounge of Nickel Asia. You make them know that your job is to bring them to the present minute, because chances are they're worried about something that's going to happen 2 weeks from now, or they might be fired tomorrow, or they remember 3 weeks ago mom died, or they're worried that their dog's at the vet. So they're not where you are most of the time. So your job, however way you want to do it, take them to the present minute, to the present place. So how do you do that? There's water here. Sit. You can hold the table if you want. Is it too bright? Bring them here. And once they come back here, they're more noticing if like, are your hands cold? Are my hands cold? So etc. Akala mo wala lang yun, but actually, all anxiety and all mental, turmoil breakdown is really not in the present moment. Most of the time, if they're worried about the future or they're sad about the past.
May quote ako na ginagamit pag ganyan eh. Do you need my advice or do you just want to rant? Parang ganun. Ikaw, Mick.
Ako, gusto ko yung kay Sir, yung sinabi ni Sir Dax. I mean, yung analogy niya about, yung sa Whac-A-Mole. Diba, na parang, doon mo marirealize na hindi naman sa lahat ng panahon, lalabanan mo. Kailangan mo ng proper solution. Yun nga, sabi nila, nadamihan yung, di ba? Nadamihan mo yung mga katulad nila na mga credible sources.
Oo.
Kailangan minsan, merong acknowledgement or acceptance na hindi lahat ng bagay kaya mo i-solve.
Yeah, oo. So, ano masabi niyo dun sa sinabi ni Sir Eugene? Since ikaw, ma'am, galing ka sa UST, si Dar galing UP, na ayaw niya mag-mentor ng someone from Big Four?
Ako, for me, I respect that kasi it evens the playing field. And what I mean by that is, pag nasa Big Four ka kasi, may edge ka na kagad eh. There are companies na gusto nila Big Four, di ba? You hear stories na yung mga HRO, dito sa pile na to Big Four, dito hindi. Parang nagkaroon na lang ng variety sa employees nung nauso na yung inclusion, diversity, di ba? Pero dati, pag kunyari, gantong company, puro UP lang, puro Ateneo, yung ganon. So for me, the fact na Sir Eugene makes it a point na he's available to mentor people na wala sa Big Four and usually nasa provinces, para it gives them the opportunity or the door that they would have not gotten, that they don't have actually. Pero dahil kay Sir Eugene, nagkakaroon sila ng parang trampoline papunta dun sa opportunity na deserve naman nila. Ewan ko lang dito sa taga-UP.
Alam mo, sa totoo naman, even nung first semester ko sa UP, puro kayabangan na naman talaga makukuha sa mga professor.
Nako, di natin pwede cut yan.
Hindi, totoo yun na, maraming kang matututunan sa UP and you'll learn to be proud. Pero eventually, when you get your first job, it's an even playing field after that. Because after tignan yung honors received mo, mga orgs na naging member ka, titignan is how you work eh. It doesn't matter which school you're from when you're applying to your next company, kasi titignan naman nila is naging maayos ka ba katrabaho, tatawagin nila yung mga contacts na nilagay mo kung totoo ba yung mga pinagsasabi mo na
But that's pag second work mo
That's
na.
your second job.
Yeah,
Sorry.
pero di mo pa rin kasi maaalis na ang unang titignan is where you study.
Oo, totoo.
Ganun talaga.
I mean, school pride is one thing. It's useful to some extent, helps you build connections. Pero we have to look beyond that kasi you can't go into a new place with prejudice.
Kaya anong masasabi nyo dun sa take ni Sir Ian and ni Dax about fake news? Magkaiba sila ng perspective, di ba? For Dax, parang hayaan mo lang. Kasi eventually, it's gonna weed out yung...
The wheat from the chaff.
Yeah. Yeah, pero kayo, anong take nyo about fake news?
Actually, during epistemology class ko dati, we learned kasi na the existence of too much untruth in society leads to the devaluation of truth. So I agree with Sir Christian na kailangan i-address yung source. Imagine, for example, masyadong maraming fool's gold na nakakalat sa market. Ang nagiging effect niya is nagkakaroon ng devaluation of real gold in the market. Kaya kailangan ma-root out yung source para hindi kumakalat. Kasi more than the fact na kumakalat yung fake news, it's the fact that people don't care about what's fake and what's real anymore. So long as nagko-conform siya sa predispositions nila na paniwalaan. And that's what's concerning to me.
Ako ever since college naman, parang ayoko talaga sa fake news. Na yung mismong thesis nga namin, yung indicator na fake news, ganyan. So parang ako naman, ang inisip ko, parehas naman kasing valid yung kay Sir Ian saka kay Sir Dax. Na parang mas okay nga kung pagsasamahin mo eh. Meron kang fact checker, tapos dadamihan mo din yung credible sources mo. Diba? Kasi,
Parang offense-defense.
Oo. Kasi feeling ko hindi lang responsibility ng journalist yung pagsugpo sa fake news. Ano din yan ng audience eh, saka ng readers eh. So dapat yung media literacy talaga, yun yung mas bigyan ng pansin.
Tama. Dun sa mga na-interview natin, meron ba kayong mga questions that you wish na itanong pa natin?
Ako kay Sir Ian sa kay Sir Dax. Kasi 'di ba galing sa media tapos nag-corporate ka, corporate communication. Parang paano natin kasi eto medyo controversial. Kasi 'di ba lagi nila sinasabi yung fake news meron din siyang pagka-propaganda. So kapag nag-transition ka to public relations
from being a journalist,
being journalist, parang paano ka makakatulong para hindi ma-make sure na hindi ka isa sa mga nagbibigay ng fake news. Ewan ko kung malino, pero ganun.
Gets ko. So parang ikaw, bilang dati, GMA ka, diba? Tapos ngayon, nasa corporate
Wag
ka na.
natin mga
Ay, sorry. Okay, ulit. O kunyari, ikaw, before, taga-media ka, ngayon, nasa corporate ka na. So parang you just wanna make sure na kahit nasa other side ka na, hindi ka naman nakakatulong sa pagpapapropagate ng maling information.
Yeah.
Ikaw, Dor, meron ka bang gustong itanong kay Miss Maggie?
Wala po.
Wala.
Bakit kayo Miss Maggie? Pwede cut yan. Mga dapat na itanong. Wait lang, nag-iisip ako.
Okay, ako rin.
splice ko naman.
Pero at the same time, ma'am, alam mo, naisip ko, hindi ba ang ano din, ang advantage, may advantage din yung kapag galing ka sa media, tapos pumunta ka sa corporate. Kasi may ethics ka eh. Na parang,
yun ay kung mabuti kang journalist,
oo,
diba?
tama. Oo. Depende
Apart
pa rin
from
talaga
that,
sa
siguro,
tao.
the fact na meron kang media network makes your job a lot easier when you have to connect with journalists. That's one advantage of shifting from journalism to PR later
Hindi,
on
what
sa
I mean
career.
is yung content, sa pagpili ng content, saka sa
Angulo.
Oo, angulo. Tapos, syempre, kailangan mong i-verify sa sources. So, yun yung advantage kapag galing ka sa media. Tapos,
Kumbaga yung practice of vetting information.
Yeah, yung practice
diba?
of vetting
Alamin
information.
kumbaga you just don't take it as such.
Oo. Nakapag binigyan ka ng number, o nakapagtanim kami ng ganito karaming puno, nasaan yung photo, o kaya nasaan yung data na nagsusupport doon. Na parang ikaw sa sarili mo, nandun pa rin yung pagiging journalist mo.
True. Ay, gusto ko yun. Sabi nga nila, once a journalist, always a journalist. Although parang ang bigat kasi nung term na journalist, parang ako personally, parang hindi ko masabi na parang journalist
Absolute,
ako. Kasi parang it has a lot of responsibility, di ba?
Parang ako naiisip na tanong.
On becoming a CEO.
Gusto ko yung pagiging introvert, ma'am.
Tama. Sige, go.
Ano yung tanong about introvert?
Gusto ko yung tanong ni ma'am about introvert doon. Yung kay Sir Dennis, saka kay
Sir
Sir
Eugene.
Eugene. Oo, kung introvert ba sila. Surprisingly, pareha silang introvert. Kasi parang, ikaw, di ba, iniisip mo lagi na yung mga nagsasucess sa buhay. Sorry, sumakses.
Sumakses!
Mga sumasakses sa buhay, yung mga extrovert, laging yung,
Out there,
Oo,
yung
out
bibo.
there. Butterfly, social butterfly. So, nagulat ako na sinabi nila na hindi sila
Extrovert.
Also when they said na kwan, diba, na ready silang elect po yung position.
Oo.
Ako actually, naalala ko lang din dun sa episode with Sir Dennis and Sir Eugene. Ang ganda na pareho silang, like, ang bilis nung sagot nila when we asked them, like, ready na ba kayo mag-retire? Or parang, are you willing to let go of your position? And I think that reflects din the kind of person that they are. Kasi diba parang ang daming leaders na, okay, I've built this empire. Ibig sabihin, nobody can touch this. Ako lang kayang mag-manage nito. So parang, ang refreshing lang din to parang encounter people na tulad nila. Na, ang galing nga kasi pareho sila na parang, this is just a job. It's really about their families, diba? Na sa totoo lang marami namang nagsasabi nun pero iba yung ginagawa nila, 'di ba? Feeling ko hindi ko siya na verbalize well.
You can also ask yung, di ba sinabi nila, does it get lonely?
Tama.
Tapos sinabi rin nila na yung tinanong, yung kinilig ba kayo nung tinanong natin kung ginugugol niyo ba yung self niyo? Kasi di ba sabi ni Sir Eugene, hindi ako natatakot kasi magaling yung comms team.
Ni Sir Dennis. Ikaw naman, ikaw.
Yung tanong,
Yung lonely at the top.
remember during the episode with Sir Dennis at saka Sir Eugene, ma'am, where you asked, does it get lonely at the top? How did that discussion go? Wala po ako nun eh.
Oo nga pala, wala si Darnan. Ako, natuwa ako dun sa sinabi ni Sir Eugene na parang kapag wala kang kasama sa lunch.
Red flag.
Red flag, oo. Yun yung natatandaan ko tungkol sa...
Bakit daw red flag kapag wala kang kasama pag lunch? Paano yung mga introvert lang?
I think kasi parang for him, leadership is about people. So parang kung wala kang relationships, parang magtaka ka bakit walang gusto maki-lunch sa'yo, 'di ba? Parang ang ganda kasi if you think about it, everything gets down to just the basics. No? Kahit na ganun nakataas yung rank mo, ultimately, it's just about relationships.
Yeah.
Yun pala ibig sabihin.
May isa pa, naalala niyo sinabi nila na yung mistake.
Tama. Ay, tanong natin yan sa sarili natin. Ikaw naman, para distribute natin yung airtime.
Sige. Teka, i-frame ko muna.
Naalala
mistake
niyo?
that they changed their life. Parang ganito.
Oo.
Naalala niyo yun.
Naalala niyo, ma'am, yung...
Ulitin mo kasi ginanon kita.
Naalala niyo, ma'am, yung tinanong niyo kila Sir Eugene sa kay Sir Dennis? Kung ano yung naging, yung pinaka tumatak sa kanilang mistake. Oo, na parang embarrassing moment.
Oo. Kayo, ano sa inyo? Meron ba kayo?
Kailangan ba during career na or...
I think any naman.
Embarrassing to, pero nung college ako sa talent test ng UP College of Music, I slept through the whole day. Naalala ko lang the following day na, talent test pala kahapon. So, if I had been awake that day, my career might have taken a different course and I would be in music. Pero if not for that mistake, I wouldn't be in communications right now.
Wala ka namang regret?
Wala.
Okay. Ikaw, Mick?
Ako, iniisip ko nga, ma'am.
Ako rin, nag-iisip ako
Kasi ang dami
mistake.
kong embarrassing moment.
Ako rin eh.
Namimili ako dun eh.
We can talk about yung sinabi ni Sir Eugene. Ay, Sir
Dennis.
Dennis na parang sabi niya, yung nagkamali siya, tapos ngayon he never commits.
Yung complete staff work. Nalala niyo din na sinabi ni Sir Dennis na parang yun tungkol sa mistake niya. Tapos parang never niya nang ginawa ulit yun after that.
You mean yung simula nun, lagi na siyang nagdo-double check?
Yung laging complete staff work, ganun.
Actually, since nalaman ko yung story na yun, every time din na, especially when I work with him, nagda-double, triple check na rin ako ng output ko. Kasi parang, parang medyo nakakahiya kung magkamali ka. Kasi pag nagkamali ka, ang reflection talaga nun is, hindi mo talaga chinek. Yun talaga yun, di ba? So, ang ganda lang ding reminder na,
I think isa yun sa yung mga nanggaling sa kanila na in-apply agad natin.
Oo, true, oo. Inisip ko yung mistake.
Ako rin eh.
Okay, I can splice it.
Oh my God, meron na ako.
Okay.
Ano yan?
Eri ko ba talaga? Actually, ito yung isa sa sige, papangalanan ko. Nakakahiyang ginawa ko sa GMA buong buhay ko. Ito, bago pumatok yung pandemic. So, di ba, nagkaroon muna ng sumabog yung Taal. Tapos ngayon, may N95 mask. So, sobrang tossful ko as a co-worker, colleague, kinuha ko yung buong N95 mask. Unknowingly, sa pangbuong newsroom pala yun. Oh my God, nahiya ako pag kinukwento ko. So, tinawagan ako ng admin. Sinasabi niya na parang, kinuha mo daw yung N95 mask. Hindi niya naman kailangan mag-N95 mask dahil sa Metro Manila lang naman. Sa Metro Manila lang naman yung shoot nyo. Hindi nyo need na N95 mask. So, parang ako, oh my God, nakakahiya. Hindi nakapag-shoot yung iba na kailangan talaga ng N95 mask.
So, anong natutunan mo nun?
So, ayun. Huwag maging masyadong thoughtful. Hindi, magtanong muna. Magtanong muna before kang, ayun nga, maging thoughtful. Kasi, yun nga, to be specific, yung lang namin, yung shoot namin sa Quiapo lang.
Ano pa nun? Hindi pa ganun ka, nagkakaubusan pa ng N95.
So, wala pang pandemic, wala pang COVID, ma'am. Ano pa rin talaga siya, yung Taal pa lang. So, grabe yung hiya ako up until now. Pag kinukwento ko siya, tapos naalala ko siya, nahihiya ako, kinuha ko yung buong N95 mask ng newsroom. Pag narinig nila to, feeling ko maalala nila to. Kasi pinagtanggol ako ng mga senior ko na parang hindi kailangan din nila na N95 mask. Pero hindi talaga namin kailangan kasi sa Quiapo lang yung shoot namin.
Oh my God. Ako hindi ako makaisip nung embarrassing. Pero naalala ko, since bago ako nag-corporate media ako, di ba? So hindi ako, kumbaga, masanay ako working alone. Kasi output lang, ganyan-ganyan. So, tumatak sa akin, naalala ko, nung bago ako, tapos I get to work directly with Sir JB. Tapos may ilalapit ako sa kanya. Lagi na sinasabi sa akin na, every time na may ilalapit ka sa akin, dapat may recommendation ka. So, parang ngayon, every time na may problem or issue, kahit na hindi, kasi minsan may mga bosses din na hindi naman nila na-appreciate pag may recommendation ka. Pero lagi na akong may binabangko na parang, okay, kung ako, anong solusyon ko dito? Sa akin, wala lang, naging maganda siyang exercise for me na pwede pala yun, na hindi lang, yung parang, tinuruan ako noon na mag-isip beyond sa tingin ko ay dapat na iniisip ko lang, if that makes sense.
Ay, ito pala yung pinaka-nakakahiya akong moment during work. Yung nagkamot ako ng tiyan sa nagat mo sa
Oh my God,
Oh my God, totoo.
Ayan workplace decency. Lagi niyo po tatandaan. Wala kayo sa bahay.
Parang sobrang comfy ni Darren. Habang kausap na si Sir JB, yung kamay na pinasok na sa loob ng polo na tapos nagkamot siya ng
Oh my God,
tapos parang si Sir JB, medyo na-skandalo siya ng konti. Parang, Darren!
Ayun, hindi na yun mauulit.
Well, tayo, di ba? Siyempre, hopeful tayo magkaroon ng season 2. And if ever magkaroon tayo ng season 2, meron ba kayong mga guest na gusto nyo sanang pumayag na makipag-sit down with us? Ako, honestly, gusto ko magkaroon ng part 2 si Dax and si Sir Ian kasi feeling ko sobrang daming hindi na pag-usapan. Ang lawak. Like, I wish we could have talked more about yung AI. Di ba? Basta, ang dami talaga. Kayo?
Ako, I have someone in mind. There's an AI ethicist na kilala around Asia na gusto ko ma-interview because I want to talk about the ethical implications of artificial intelligence apart from yung mga foreseen na magiging effects niya in the workplace in the foreseeable future. Kasi as it stands right now, ang daming taong nawawalan ng trabaho because of automation. So I want to explore the ethics of that.
Ako, I wish we can interview someone from the art scene. Kahit sino, parang I have no name in particular, pero parang iniisip ko lang kasi parang ang ganda ng magiging discussion talking about art, especially ngayon na wala lang, parang interesting siya.
Okay, may naisip na ako. Someone from Comedy Manila or yung mga stand-up comedian.
Actually, magiging masaya yun.
Para mag-level up naman mga joke mo.
Okay, someone na about, aside from Miss Gang, more on mental health. Yung parang finding your happiness, ganyan. Siyempre, nowadays, hirap nang humanap ng happiness eh.
O kaya, feature tayo ng philosopher, discuss natin what is happiness.
Pwede.
Medyo ka.
Actually, na-realize ko, hindi pala natin naisip magkaroon ng guest about relationships.
Yeah, oo.
Which is usually the case pag mga ganito.
Oo nga, ba't hindi tayo nag-Valentine's picture?
Ang nerd kasi ni Darian, ma'am.
Ba't ako?
Ibig sabihin nun, happy kasi tayo sa ating mga relasyon.
Well,
Hi, Apa.
Apa! Si Apa na lang.
they speak for themselves.
Oh, and actually, gusto ko ma-interview natin yung chairman natin. Si Sir Lito Camacho. Kasi I think, interesting to talk to him bilang nag-government work siya, nag-corporate work siya, tapos art patron pa siya. Diba? So parang lahat ng pinasok niya. So, ayun, I think to end, gusto ko lang mag-thank you sa lahat ng viewers namin and sa lahat ng tumulong sa amin for this podcast to happen. And hopefully, we'll all be able to see you again in Season 2.
If you want to see some guests here on the podcast, just comment it in the comments section below. Tapos we'll see if we can get them on board.
So, bye-bye.
Thank you!
See you in Season 2.